a stronger point than where I'm at with you. I realized that I loved Cassie.
Oh, on part one of Monday night's live Bachelor finale, fans saw Colton Underwood break the hearts of two beautiful women, and we heard from them on the live portion. Now I am live with Hannah Godwin. Guys, a round of applause for Hannah Godwin. Aww. Justice for Hannah G.
Thank you.
Hannah, so we saw you get unceremoniously dumped by Colton Underwood last night.
Yeah.
And what was kind of wild was that we really hadn't seen you much in the past couple episodes even.
Yeah.
Was that a little strange to you to watch last week and be like, where am I even in this whole narrative?
Yeah, just because for me, I mean, in my eyes, it was just my story in my head, you know, and then once I got off the show, I was like, oh, fun fact, it's not just the Hannah show, and there's a lot of other things going on, but I know I focused on my relationship and stayed in my lane, and sometimes that didn't make for the most, you know, screen time. So it was kind of weird seeing that I wasn't in all of these parts and moments that I thought were so special for me, but I think I just kind of tried to make up for lost time a little bit last night and just get answers that I've been waiting for months, you know.
That was what was crazy to see as we watched this breakup, and again, we hadn't really gotten to see much of you, and then we get you live on the after show. As you were watching it, I mean, we saw Colton tell you, I love Cassie. We saw him say, I thought this whole time it was going to be you. You still feel like home to me.
Yeah.
You saw that for the first time last night, just like the rest of us. What was your reaction to seeing him say those things to you?
Confused AF. Like, I mean, like I said, I was only in my story and invested in my love story the whole time, and I thought it was us. So to see him say that he thought about, you know, Cassie while he was with me, and I'm like, you're telling me you're falling in love with me. You're asking for my dad's blessing. Like, were you thinking about Cassie while you're looking at my dad in his eyes? Like, that was really hard for me to watch, and I think it just made me super confused because I was so invested in the whole thing.
Did it make you feel like your relationship wasn't genuine?
I'm not going to say that fully because I know we did have a good connection and he has to go with his gut and say what's on his mind, and sometimes that's not going to be the answer that I want to hear. I know we did have something, but I'm not going to lie if, you know, it was definitely a slap in the face to see and hear him say those words to somebody else besides me.
What was it like for you when you watched last week's episode, when you watched the Cassie breakup and the fence jump?
That sucked. So I kind of, when I was watching that, I was like, I don't think that I'm really going to be on this a whole lot. So I was like, okay, like, you know, less pressure for me a little bit, like not having to like watch what happened with me the whole time. But it actually ended up being 10 times worse just because I didn't know that he had said all of those things to Cassie, and it was really hurtful things. And even though it happened a while ago, it's just getting these answers and seeing that my relationship was so different to him than it was to me.
I have to be honest, Hannah, I was frustrated with Colton watching it. I was watching it and thinking, you are sitting here telling this woman, Hannah, that you want to break up with her, that you love someone else, but also that you're not quite sure and that you don't want to lose her. That felt like such conflicting information and messaging to me.
Yeah.
Were you frustrated in that moment? Were you mad at Colton?
Yes. I mean, he would even try to hug me, and I think we were both doing this weird thing where it was like, okay, I don't want to leave you. And then it was like, wait, I'm kind of pissed at you right now. You're breaking my heart and hurting my feelings, and I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And I thought it was the first date that week. So I really was just super blindsided. And I thought he was coming to surprise me. And the fact that he told me that I still felt like home as he was breaking up with me, I was just like, okay. Like, so that meant 100 whenever he told me that on the very first night. And the reason why he told me he was falling in love with me was because I felt like home. And then for him to say that as he's breaking my heart, I'm like, well, what is home? I don't
What
know.
is home?
Are we just homies? I think we were just homies at that point, and not like actually that valued home
Yeah.
that I thought it was.
Do you think Colton loved you?
I mean, he said he was falling in love with me. In the moment, I think it would have been hard for me to allow myself to say I love him if I didn't think he felt the same. So I did think that he loved me, and I thought it was us, and there was zero question in my mind. I got my ring like sized, and I was ready to go. I was mentally ready to be engaged.
Why were you so sure? What had he done throughout the course of the season? Because like we said, we saw a lot of sexy makeout moments, but maybe we didn't see everything of you and Colton's relationship. What made you so sure that he was so sure?
So many moments on camera, off camera, just having that connection and really learning about these deep moments from each other, but then also like the lighthearted things, like in how we handled things. And we would do this thing, it's so weird to bring up, but we would like wink at each other where it was just like, this is a weird thing, like it's good, and there was just so many things that I think I wish more people got to see, which made our relationship so special.
Well, now looking back, do you feel like he led you on or led you astray?
I think the bitter side of me wants to be like, yeah, he led me on. But really, I think he had to be in the moment. It's what he signed up for, was to test out every relationship. And I mean, it sucks that it didn't work out the way that I hoped that it would, because I really, truly thought that I would have had a much different after the final rose experience. I thought it was going to be with him. So, sitting there in that room, and it's like being filmed and everything, having to watch it, it's like, this is my real life, and having those real deep feelings of, I don't know, I think when I watch it, it's just like, oh, entertainment.
Yeah.
Woo! But when your emotions are really involved with it, it was overwhelming.
It seems so important to you last night to emphasize how real this was for you. Why was that important for you?
I think for me, probably, it's just, I know watching from the other side before I ever came on the show, it was just more entertainment. So I think it was important for me to say, no, this is real, this is happening, and it kind of helped me like be in that moment myself and focus on what I have to say, instead of just being like, yeah, I'm fine, yay, happiness for you. It's like, I had a bunch of questions that I just wanted to get out there, and I was like, I have not stressed out every single day and cried so many days for months to just go out there and be like, all is good. I wanted to get closure.
Did you get it?
I don't know if there's a perfect way to get closure. I mean, sort of.
I was watching.
I think hearing, yeah, you can go.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching and thinking, I love seeing this side of Hannah. I love that we didn't get to see this all season long, but she has come out here and she is saying how she feels, and she's confronting Colton about some of this stuff. Because, as you put it, he did to you what Cassie did to him. And I didn't feel totally clear on his answers, and I know that it's hard for the lead, but also he hasn't been totally clear with some of the other women too, like really explaining why, and why you weren't the one, and why it wasn't you.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it this morning?
With the whole closure thing, I think big picture, like I said last night, I thought he was going to chase me, so I still had this like in denial thing, but I don't have that in denial feeling anymore. I think now, he told me, he was like, nope, I wasn't in love with you. And even though that's hard to hear, it helps with just flipping the page and moving forward. And today I feel like there's a big weight off of my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to lie to the world that I'm in a relationship that ended kind of badly for me.
Yeah.
So
how bad
it's
was
nice
it?
to
I
be
mean,
in
when
the
you
moment.
went home after that, after Portugal, how were you?
In denial. every single day I was like, I know that there's obviously something missing. Like I didn't see how upset he was whenever he left until last night. I thought it was just kind of easy for him to be like, okay, yeah, thanks for the past, however many months, bye. And I thought he just closed the door and left. So I was like, what's going on? But I don't like seeing people struggle, but it does help to know that it was at least hard for him and not just an easy goodbye, I guess. Because for me, it wasn't an easy goodbye. It was a very hard goodbye. And even getting in the car or limo or I don't even remember. What it was.
You're like, whatever the van was, whatever.
I blacked out at that point. But getting out, I was just like, I don't even want to talk about anything.
When he was breaking up with you, I mean, so many things that he was saying were sticking out to me, like when he was talking about how it was so hard for him, he didn't want it to be this hard. I'm not sure now. Was there one thing that did stick out that you were like thinking about for weeks after? Because you've had so much time to marinate on this breakup.
I think when he said, I thought it was you the whole time. That's where it was like, well, hey, I did too. And then he was like, I don't want to leave you right now. I don't know if if that was aired. I don't remember, but he was like, I just don't want to leave you right now. Like, you just feel like home, basically. And I was just like, okay, hey.
What does that phrase mean?
Why are you leaving me then? Like, I didn't have all the puzzle pieces together. I didn't know how passionate he was towards Cassie. I didn't know that Tayshia had even gone on a date with him. I was just kind of like, hey, like, flew to Portugal. I'm jet lagged, ready for my date. And then I was left with nothing. So I was like, what changed from USA soil to Europe soil? I don't know. Like,
Well, what do you wish he'd done differently in the breakup?
I don't know. I think he spoke his mind and his heart, and I really respect him for that. But I mean, there's no easy way to be like, I wish my breakup was more like this versus that,
Right. But I wondered if you, looking back, thought, I wish he hadn't told me that he was confused.
Yeah, that made it hard, especially since I haven't been able to talk to him. If I could have just, hopped on a call the next week and been like, hey, by the way, why would you say that? I think that's something I held on to for months.
Yeah.
Was how that ended, so.
How have you gotten over it all?
I guess for once, just feeling emotions and not ignoring them. I learned that with this whole entire experience. And if I need to get a cry in, I'll get a cry in, and hanging out with friends and family. And I have such a supportive group of people around me. And just, trying to enjoy these moments and stay in the in the present as much as I could with, all of this crazy past around me. And anytime I went out, it's like, hey, like, oh my gosh, I just know it's you. And I'm like,
Totally.
Like, I twitch,
You seemed so strong last night. Were you surprised at your own strength? Did you think you might break down on that stage?
I was shocked. I don't know where that came from, honestly, but I just know for me, I had gone through too much for it to even be an option for me to just smile and be happy like I usually do. I wanted answers and I wanted some closure. And overall, I think I got that. I said everything I wanted to say.
At one point, I think you told Chris, I don't know what I'm going to say out on this stage. And I wondered if part of you wanted to kind of get into it with Colton a little bit, if you had that frustration.
Yeah, I was definitely frustrated, but I mean, I can't just yell at somebody, for it not being me. Like, I do respect that, he did say, like, I deserved, more than just being a coin toss at the end of this and all of this. But I was also like, yeah, but from what you told me, I felt like I did deserve it.
Yeah.
But that's where I had a mix. But
did you and Colton speak at all, like in those moments right after or after the special finish taping? Any further words?
No.
No.
But I think it was just a good, like, when you just have those, like, moments with people where you just, like, lock eyes, and we were just like, I'm happy for you, really, truly. And I think for me, learning from this whole experience, you can find your own happiness by sometimes just letting things go and being happy for others. And
Yeah.
Sometimes being happiness means experiencing the highs and the lows to get there. And
Yeah.
that's what I tried to do.
Well, we saw Colton jump real high right over a fence.
Really
and
high.
Yeah, now we're going to see what happens. How do you feel having learned that he, we saw last night, he's going to go after Cassie, even after she broke up with him and after she was the one woman who did not tell him she was falling in love with him?
I don't know what's going to happen. I wonder what's behind that fence. But, I feel like I've already touched on this, but I know for me, I wish that he jumped that fence for me. But also, like, I want to have that fence jump feeling too for somebody. And I think I totally respect him for following his heart and his gut. And I wonder what's going to happen. We'll see.
Can I ask, you and we were talking about this, you and Kaylin and Hannah B kind of all talked about feeling a little blindsided by Colton.
Yeah.
Colton, I think, is a good guy. He's an emotional guy. But is Colton good at breakups?
I don't know how to say it, but like, maybe he needs to work better and practice more on breakups or something. Or maybe he's going to be really good I don't really know.
By the end of all this, by all the breakups?
Actually, I hope he doesn't have to go through more breakups. That's not where I'm getting at. But is anybody good at breakups?
What's one thing having watched him now break up with several people, including yourself?
Yeah.
Is there one thing he could have done better consistently?
I don't know. I think we all had unique breakups.
Yeah.
But he did. I think as much as I felt blindsided and didn't have closure. I was shocked, so I was kind of disappointed in myself in that moment too. I couldn't just put it all on him. I was disappointed in myself for not challenging him more and asking better questions so I could sleep better at night for the few months after that. But I was just shocked. I was just like, there's no way this is happening.
He said that you had helped him through so much. That's one thing he said in the breakup. What was he talking about there?
I think it was the little things, and I'm a great listener, and that's not what people really saw about me. Throughout the whole thing, I would always be like, hey, how's it going? Like, just checking in on him because he's a real person too with real feelings. And I feel like that was a big part of me that wasn't really shown, I think. Yeah.
We also saw you kind of learned that he told Cassie, when I'm with the other women, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
Which was huge. What was, maybe it was that. What was the most painful thing that you had to hear Colton say watching all this back?
Definitely that statement. I didn't expect for him to actually say that. And I wonder if it was just in the moment he wanted to say it, but I thought it was weird how the next day he told me that he thought it was me and him the whole time, but then he told Cassie the night before that he was thinking about her. I was like, which one is true?
Did you feel lied to?
I don't know if lied is the right answer. I felt salty with the whole situation, but it sucks because it's what I signed up for too, but I just didn't expect for it to go like that because I thought it was us the whole time.
Well, we watched you again. You just killed it last night on the live finale. I felt like we finally got to see Hannah G.
Hi,
did you feel,
nice to meet you.
Did you feel a little bit like I'm finally getting to have my moment?
A little bit. I think more than my moment and,
but
showing
say what
who
you
I
had to
am.
say.
Just for me getting those answers for myself, that's what I went in there for. And I think I got that. And big picture is that it wasn't me. And it's been hard, but I think watching every week, even though it's been not fun to rewatch and relive a relationship, watching every week has kind of given me baby steps towards closure, I think.
Well, last night, definitely, after watching you and hearing what you had to say, you defined love. You said, I deserve the fence jump. You said love is a two-way street. People, of course, were tweeting and saying Hannah G for Bachelorette.
Oh.
Is that at all a possibility?
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Chris Harrison said last night, we will find out who our new Bachelorette is tonight.
We will see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I loved watching you. You seriously just owned that stage. And what about, say, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise? Would you be open to that?
I know for me, love was just at my fingertips. I was so close to getting it, and I'm ready to date, but seriously date, not just like date around and stuff. So any opportunity for love, I'd be open to, because I know how much, especially after this, how much I want it.
We're also going to get the finale of The Bachelor tonight, live on ABC. Do you think Colton should have gone after Cassie?
I think he should have followed his heart. And if that's what it was saying, yeah, go for it.
Are you going to watch tonight?
I think I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine it'll be hard.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be another way to just be able to move on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How did your family feel watching you go through all this?
I think they went into like make sure Hannah's okay mode, and just being really supportive and sweet with their words, and being helpful through the highs and the lows for the whole thing. So I love them.
We have one more soundbite from last night. Let's take one more listen to Hannah G at the finale.
I didn't want my life to go on without her in it. So I couldn't do that to you, to where you were a backup plan.
I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel like a slap in the face seeing you tell Cassie that you thought about her while you're with other people. That sucked. I want somebody to, I don't know, jump a fence for me, you know? Like, I need that kind of like relationship, but I don't know.
All right, applause for you last night, Hannah G, when you said you wanted that fence jump love. Did that feel good to say that?
It felt really good to say that. It felt great.
Guys, if you don't follow Hannah G, follow her on social media. I cannot wait to see what you do next. I hope you're back on our TV screens.
I hope so too.
We were her very first interview on ET Live. The Bachelor finale is tonight on ABC, and ET Live will have all the big moments covered for you. Thank you, Hannah G.
Thank you so much.
ET Live is back. We're 24/7. Don't go anywhere.